Good day grade 8 students. And welcome to another video lesson in Health 8. Before we start our video lesson, let's have a pre-test first to assess if you already have some background on our lesson for today. Read the question carefully and choose the letter of the correct answer. Write your answers in your notebook. You will only be given 5 seconds to read and answer each questions. You may pause the video if you need more time to read the questions. Are you ready? Number 1. Blank is any condition that interferes with the proper functioning of the body or mind. Number 2. Blank is a disease that can be passed to a person from another person, and Number 3. Blank are disease-causing organisms that are so small you need a microscope to see them. Think fancy word for Number 4. Blank is mode of transmission by kissing. Number 5. What are ways to limit exposure to communicable diseases? Here are the answers to our pre-test. How many correct answers did you got? Well done. From the previous lesson, it discussed about parents on how to take care of their children through responsible parenthood by providing them necessary food, clothing, shelter, medical and good education. It also discussed about modern methods of family planning. If you really understand the previous lesson, try to explain why it is important to manage responsibilities of family planning nowadays. Write your answers in your notebook and share your idea to the class. Alright. Let's now proceed to our lesson for today, which is about stages of infection and leading causes of morbidity and mortality in the Philippines. Communicable or infectious disease is any illness that you can catch or can be passed from one person to another. An illness due to a specific infectious agent or its toxic products, capable of being directly or indirectly transmitted from man to man, animal to man, or from the environment. Mode of transmission. Contact or mode of transmission is the most common form of transmitting diseases and virus. There are two types of contact or mode of transmission: direct and indirect. Direct contact transmission occurs when there is physical contact between an infected person and a susceptible person. Indirect contact transmission occurs when there is no direct human-to-human contact. Contact occurs from a reservoir to contaminated surfaces or objects, or to vectors such as mosquitoes, flies, mites. Chain of infection. More specifically, transmission occurs when the agent leaves its reservoir or host through a portal of exit, is conveyed by some mode of transmission, and enters through an appropriate portal of entry to infect. 6 links in the chain of infection. 1. Pathogen. It is an organism with the ability to cause disease. 2. Reservoir. It is a place within which microorganisms can thrive and produce. 3. Portal of exit. It provides a way for a microorganism to leave the reservoir. 4. Mode of transmission, host to another. 5. Portal of entry. It is an opening allowing the microorganism to enter the host. 6. The susceptible host. It is a person who cannot resist a microorganism. This is the graph of the 6 links in the chain of infection. It starts with the pathogen or infectious agent. Second, the pathogen thrives and multiplies in the reservoir. Then, the pathogen leaves through the portal of exit. Next, a disease is acquired by the mode of transmission. It is the method by which the organism moves from one host to another. Then, portal of entry. It is an opening allowing the microorganism to enter the host. And lastly, the susceptible host. It is a person who cannot resist a microorganism invading its body, therefore acquiring the disease or pathogen. Then it starts all over again to infect another person. There are 4 stages of infection. Stages of infection. It starts with the incubation stage. It is when a person acquires the pathogen until the appearance of the first sign, or silent stage. Second, the prodromal stage. It is when there are non-specific signs and symptoms appearing. Headache, runny nose, slight fever. Then the illness or clinical stage. Severe ache, vomiting, high fever, sore throat, sinus congestion. And lastly, recovery or convalescence stage. This is the time when recovery seems complete, although the disease is still communicable. But leading causes of morbidity and mortality in the Philippines. Morbidity is any physical or psychological state considered to be outside the realm of normal well-being. Is often used to describe illness, impairment, or degradation of health, especially when discussing chronic and age-related diseases which can worsen over time. Mortality. Being subject to death, mortal character, nature, or existence. The relative frequency of deaths in a specific population, death rate. Mortal beings collectively. Leading causes of morbidity and mortality in the Philippines. 1. Diseases of the heart. 2. Diseases of the vascular system. 3. Malignant neoplasms. 4. Pneumonia. 5. Accidents. 6. All forms of tuberculosis. 7. Chronic lower respiratory syndrome and nephrosis. 10. Certain conditions originating in the prenatal COVID-19. Recently, another communicable disease hit the world by this pandemic called COVID-19. A disease caused by a new strain of coronavirus. CO stands for corona, vi for virus, and D for disease. Formerly, this disease was referred to as 2019 novel coronavirus or 2019 nCoV. Currently, evidence suggests that COVID indirect, through contaminated objects or surfaces, or close contact with infected people via mouth and nose secretions. This includes saliva, respiratory secretions or symptoms of COVID-19. Most common symptoms are fever, dry cough, and tiredness. Less common symptoms are aches and pains, sore throat, diarrhea, conjunctivitis, headache, loss of taste or smell, and a rash on skin or discoloration of fingers and toes, shortness of breath, chest pain, loss of speech or movement, and loss of senses of smell. Alright, we have reached the end of our discussion. Let's check if you have learned something from our lesson today. Our activity will be true or false. Write true if the statement is correct, and false if the statement is incorrect. And for our wrap-up, our activity is entitled, Communication is Key. Write 5 statements that are key to preventing the spread of communicable diseases. You may post this in your social media account to share. And for our valuing, think of this. There's a very popular saying, prevention is better than cure. Using 5 sentences, what do you think are the importance of preventing diseases, rather curing the disease? Write your answer. Before you go, let's see what you have learned in today's lesson by answering the post text. 1. What is the stage when you feel a bit better and disappearance of the disease, or it is the time the host recovers gradually and returns to baseline? 2. Blank of an infectious illness is the period between end of incubation period and the point at which the characteristic symptoms of the illness appear. 3. Blank is the state or condition of being subject to death, mortal character, nature, or existence. 4. What is the stage that is onset of non-specific sign of infection, like slight elevation of temperature? 5. Blank is the method by which the organism moves from one host to another. Here are the answers to our post-test. I hope that you got all the correct answers. And that completes our lesson for today. I hope you are doing well today. Keep safe and stay healthy. See you in